outside the WWF at the time, some territories are starting to close their doors in the wake of what Vince McMahon is up to. The Continental Wrestling Federation and Stampede are both gone. They're going to go defunct at the end of '89. Jerry Jarrett's territories, the CWA and USWA, are going to merge, and the AWA is on the ropes. They're going to be out of business in like a year or so. On one hand, the company that you work for is kicking some ass and you're kind of the beneficiary of the success, which is great. But Jim, on the other hand, nobody's running the WWF last forever. And now the amount of alternatives are starting to diminish. Did the disappearing territories concern you at all during this time, Jim?
Yeah, it did. I think everybody realized what's going on. The WWE, like I said, putting the other small companies out of business was great for a few guys. But a whole lot of wrestlers who were making a living working these different territories are out of business. They're dried up. Guys that worked the Georgia territory, Mid-South, guys that weren't picked up by WWE or F, they were done wrestling. Where the smaller territories, a lot of guys made a lot of money and survived, fed their families, and thrived working the territories. Mm-hmm. And that was the end of a time, it's gone. And a lot of people miss that. I mean, you can go to Hacksaw Duggan highlights and see that studio wrestling where the people, they believe it so much, man, and they're almost hitting the ring with you. And I mean, it was different, and you do the show 2 weeks from now. I'll be back and finish the angle with DiBiase. He broke my windshield, the son of a gun. I mean, it was and I think it was a great time in the business. It really was. It was fun to be there, but it was also great to see the evolution of wrestling. Mm-hmm. When I started, it was high school gyms and National Guard armories, and all of a sudden, I'm in the Pontiac Silverdome with 93,000 people.
Unbelievable.
You're like, holy smokes! I'm going to Royal Albert Hall and Wembley Stadium, traveling the world. Professional wrestling. I mean, it's been a great business for me, and I'm really tired of hearing all the negative shit about everybody griping. I didn't get a pension. I didn't get insurance. I got screwed by Vince and this and that. Yes, okay, yes. But you knew that going in, brother.
Yep.
Holy shit. It's not like after 40 years I'm going, I don't get a pension. Thank God for me and having Deborah. She saved our money. I was never one of those big money guys, the Bret Hart $1 million contracts, nothing like that. But I worked steady and saved my bread. Put my 2 daughters through school, never had to go to rehab. It's been a great business for me. And and all you ever hear is dark side of the ring and this guy's OD'd. I mean, I get tired of that sometimes.
I don't blame you. It's frustrating to hear it because, again, it's something that even us as fans, we grew up loving and admiring and stuff. And then it's like, I don't necessarily want to hear the bad side of things.
And Chiefs, most of the podcasts are like, that dirty son of a... Was it that bad of a business for you, brother? Holy shit. No. Holy smokes.
And to your point, Jim, everybody signed the same contract when you went to the WWF. At that time,
there was some different money in those contracts, brother.
Hogan had a different one, I'm sure. But most guys coming in the door at the time, you signed a contract that guaranteed you 10 dates at $150 a date. So for those of you who are bad at math, that's $1,500 downside guarantee. That's it. That's all you're guaranteed. Now, of course, Vince was going to pay you more on the house shows and whatnot, but he didn't have to. Everybody willingly signed that contract. So to your point, it's like,
that's very cool you're saying that, because I didn't know about that when we were working. We didn't have a contract.
No contract.
No, we didn't have contracts. The TNA started. WCW. That's why so many guys jump ship, because they gave you a no-cut contract. Or you work for Vince with no contract at all. You work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. So you work through injuries, you work through pain. I mean, because you didn't want to miss the payday.
So but, you would have
Turner, WCW, they all in the early WWF days, there was no contracts.
So you could have left at any point during that
You're
period.
gonna
If
left,
you
or they
left
could
early.
have fired you at any point or paid you, like you said, at any amount.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
wild.
It was not fair. No, of course not. And yeah, Vince was horrible, and he should have treated us better, and he screwed us. He's a horrible person. And at 71 years old, I travel the world signing autographs, taking pictures with picture because of what he did.
Yep. There's
Yeah,
still action
so
figures
a
being made
real
of Jim
catch
Duggan.
22. Yeah, I say, well, Vince, yeah, I should, especially now you look at the kids, making $1 million for, whatever. And there's
Hmm.
enough money to maybe throw a few bones to the old timers, but that'll never happen. But still, it's I live a comfortable life because of working for Vince McMahon.
Yep. About to hit Germany and the UK as a result
Yeah,
of what you
ready
did.
to go overseas, bringing my family with me to the UK. I mean, it's yeah, like I said before, and it's unbelievable the appeal of wrestling around the world. But thank
All these
goodness, man. I mean,
all these years later, it's impressive, man. Really cool. And yeah, it's Vince
especially
did.
the old timers. Yeah, who would think? Of course, Hogan, like I said, gets booed. But you look, there's just a small Jake, Ted DiBiase, Luke. That's why anytime we see each other, it's like, Luke, brother, Jake, let me check your pulse.
And as a result of the work that you did all those years ago, you were just on Good Morning Football, right? During one of
Oh
their
yeah,
segments
yeah.
where
Well,
they
that
had
was that
pictures.
was my character. I wasn't nothing fancy Dan about Hacksaw Jim Duggan, just a 2x4 and the flag of the United States of America. I didn't like fireworks and flashy feathered boas and sequin robes, and I think that's why it resonates to this day. I mean, so many people come up to me. They say, Hacksaw was walking around at home. I picked up a 2x4. I had to go, ho!
And look, as a kid, it's like I didn't care what moves guys were doing or what the finish was or anything like that. I liked characters. Like that's my favorite guy because he's an exciting character. He gets me excited every time he comes
Well,
out.
asking people to Hacksaw, what was your favorite move? Did I kick and punch? What are you talking about? What's my favorite move? I carry a 2x4. Talk to Brett and Sean and those guys about Ricky the Dragon about wrestling. Talk
That's
to me
right.
about kicking somebody's ass.
That's right.
Sorry,
Oh,
brother.
I told you I get.
I wanted to do it out in the pool area, but my daughter's like, no, Dad, no, we'll do it in the house.
She didn't want you out
Years
there
ago, when we
shouting.
were in Florida, I would have to do morning radio and stuff, and I'd be out in the pool area. Oh, I'm going to grab you. I'm going to choke you. I'm going to beat you. And the neighbors will be going, no, 911. Something's going on next door.
The neighbor's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. I did kind of panic the neighborhood when I first moved in, but
I'm sure.
but then they got used to me. They're like, that's Hacksaw.
Yeah, it's just Jim.